I need to talk to my brothers and sisters about something that you may not be ready for. Now, I am a registered Republican, but I miss Bill Clinton.
I gotta apologize to McCain because I talked about McCain baby arm.
I had to bring some for the sisters up in this motherfucker. Welcome to the Sheryl Underwood Show.
How y'all doing?
Let's bring it to the politics. Go ahead, say what you feel on my show.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, shorty. I supported George Bush. That's my boo right there. I ain't trying to criticize nobody.
I think Michelle Obama's going to get pregnant this year.
When they asked Barack, what do you have to say? I swear for God, he said, this goes to all the ladies in the house.
Only on my show do they keep it real like this. The Sheryl Underwood Show. That's how you start off, yeah. Welcome to the Sheryl Underwood Show. It is Tuesday, November the 9th. Okay, yes, I requested American one, but I thought I requested the one made by guess who? Which one did he pick? Because there's two of them. Okay, pull Lenny Kravitz. I thought we were going to get some God Bless the USA. With some Lee Greenwood, because this is Veterans Day show. We're proud Americans on this show. Well, if you're listening to me talk, you can tell that's the male voice. That's right. I'm going to stop talking. You need to play all of this, dedicated to all our troops, those who have served and those who are still serving. You know how we do this. I'm not even going to talk no more. Play all of it. That's the best part. When he hit that, you crying, boy? No, you see her wipe her nose? I knew you loved the country. I knew you did.
Of course I love this country.
That's right. They hitting them drums. That's right. It's Veterans Day. We ain't forgot. Stand up. That's what I'm talking about. It's Veterans Day, and we love our veterans. Those who have served, those who continue to serve. And this show is a special show. We want you to call in 1-877-2-106-106. We have our guest here from the USO, and y'all know how I feel about the USO. We have our guest here from U.S. Vets. And so after we talk a little politics, sports, you know, we're going to let the guests come on and talk about it. But this is also a special show because I am proud to announce, I got to do my presidential voice before I say something really, really foul. Ready? As Grand Ambassadors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I'm proud to announce that this launches our Zeta Salute Those Who Serve. Let me say it right, because I wrote the slogan. Zeta Salute Those Who Serve. And we will have our kickoff Thanksgiving where we adopt Fort Bragg as our first base. Yay. And all 850 chapters will adopt military bases all over the country and military families. So you adopt the base, and then you find out what the base need, and you adopt the family. So we have a family that's selected where the mother is serving in Kuwait, the grandmother is taking care of the family, and we will go through all of the holidays, you know, some of the little things, you know, Christmas, New Year's, things like that. But you know what everything's about? Sweetest Day and Mother's Day and Father's Day. You know, what happens to the children, you know, so we want them to know the love. We're going to have a girls' night out for the wives where their husbands are serving special forces, and we might do something for the guys if their wives are deployed. So we just wanted them to know that they are loved, and that will happen with all 850 chapters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Yay, congratulations.
That's right. And where there's no military base, we will adopt the USO.
Hey, I'm
that's
all for that.
See, and that's why you're here, and that's what we want. Now, let me make sure I have this right. Michael R.S. Tillman?
No, you're wrong.
Oh, that's what I love about you. You just jump right in the show. How
Oh,
you
baby,
say it?
it's Tileman.
Tileman.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You are a veteran,
Yes,
30
ma'am.
years.
That's correct.
And you are the executive director of USO in Greater Los Angeles. So you're the one you're the USO that we see when we're going out at LAX.
You better believe it, baby.
And that's the Bob Hope.
Absolutely. Bob Hope, USO.
Wonderful. And later in the show, Michael will tell us, I almost said Bob, Michael will tell us what is it that the USO needs from us. Because a lot of us, you know, we may see it, but, you know, we don't know what they need. So we're going to do a special request. And I hope that Jacob the Man of God with the Big Rod will record this so that we'll be able to play this back as a promo to let everybody know what the USO continues to need. Now, William Wallace, do they call you Bill?
They call me Bill, yeah.
You are so handsome. You know, he looks like, remember Knots Landing? Remember when Alec Baldwin was the little religious dude on Knots Landing?
Oh, wow.
Doesn't he looks a little similar to him.
Yes, he does.
Glenda, you like that, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
He's
You compared
handsome.
to Alec Baldwin, was
Young Alabama, not the fat one that's on 30 Rock.
He looks like he
He's
could
on 30.
actually be related to White Jim Kelly.
Yes, and you know what? White Jim Kelly has pneumonia tonight,
yeah.
and
And
I know
we-
he's missing the show. White Jim Kelly and we're the only Republicans on the show, but I'm a Republican
And
that
we
supports
still
growth.
send healing energies your
That's
way.
right.
White
Two
Jim Kelly.
Republicans on the show, wonderful, and we're saying that we want. That's right, healing.
Healing energies to our man.
So that's right.
White Jim
White
Kelly.
Jim.
Even though
He's not
I'm a
feeling
Republican that supports President Obama, but I'm still a very patriotic. I don't even know why we fighting people. I say we drop some
1, 2, 3, 4.
some
What the hell we
Drano, some
fighting for?
Drano with some Vaseline on it. Cause that'll stick to you. Forget napalm. That is. I know. See, and I know I guess don't condone that sort of thing, but I think when people keep fighting you over and over again, you need to pop them in the mouth sometime. So, I'm sorry, Paul. This way.
Political.
Political brief first. Okay, so Paul says the president is in India.
Yes, did you see him dancing with the kids?
Did you see the first lady do the Beyonce? Glenda, she looked
her
cute
belly
like you.
dance on.
Yeah, she looked
Yeah.
cute like. But I hear that is it India or Pakistan? Somebody's mad. One of them, one of the leaders that are of the Muslim faith, they're upset because she touched his hand.
Tell what you was saying.
One of the leaders, Ignatius Kyle, one of their leaders over there.
Oh, you can't touch.
I heard there was a controversy, but
And
I
that
didn't
was the
hear what it
controversy.
was.
That
You
was
didn't
the
wash
one.
your hands first?
No, she touched his hand. I guess he's supposed to not be around
just
women
sneeze?
that are not his relatives.
Oh, okay.
No, you know. I mean, we respect other people's cultures and faiths on this show.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's our first lady. Fuck that.
That's true.
Okay, I'm sorry. I ain't supposed to say that.
She can't please
I mumbled it.
everyone.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
but what was she supposed to? Okay, was she not supposed to not be in the room? Was she supposed to maybe? I don't know. How would the first lady have greeted?
Okay, did he extend his hand? Because I know she didn't reach out
Just
and grab
grab it,
his
'cause
hand.
grab his
Barack
hand.
don't play that
Right.
Give me
shit.
that hand.
Barack don't play that shit.
No,
I'm
he
sure
wasn't.
she was briefed on the customs. So was his hand sticking out for her
Right.
to shake it?
Well, what else? Okay, I ain't gonna say it because then they put the little fatwa on me and then I got to hide and
The
shit.
fatwa.
Yeah, the fatwas. That's what we got. And we also have Scott Taylor here, who was in the 2004 Operation Iraqi Freedom. You were in the Army?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I used to be.
Wonderful,
Used to be.
wonderful. You whooped their ass over there? You let them have it?
We'll get into it.
Okay, good. Take it to their ass. I'm so proud of our troops, man. Okay, I'm sorry. So now where they at? President Obama said he want India to be part of the UN Security Council.
Right.
Don't get crowded up in there. And then Pakistan went, dang, what the hell? Why we can't be part of it? Because y'all harboring terrorists. That's why I can't be. So everybody's mad.
Well, I will say that the president's approval ratings are up post midterm elections.
So you know what's about to happen?
What's about to
He
happen?
about to get reelected. I don't even know why they bullshit. He about to get reelected. See, the Tea Party done messed it up for us. Somebody need, because the Tea Party is like, you know, I hate to say this, and black people call in 1-877-2-106-106. The Tea Party is like black people.
Yeah.
As soon as we get shit, we just
mess it
wild
up.
out.
We
Yeah,
wild
we just
out.
wild out.
We wear it out.
Damn.
Wild out and shit.
Sure, there's white people in the room. Talk
And
about
that's,
that tomorrow.
that's why they laughing. They was like that they white.
They're gonna have to change the name of their organization, just like black folks. We wear a club out, and then they have to shut the club down and reopen it, name it something else. And we wear that shit out. They shut it down and rename it something else and open it back up.
That's right.
I love how they renaming something else, though.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to control them. They gonna get up in the House and the Senate and they gonna act a fool. And then the senators that know what's going on. Cause remember they said, who was the guy? Was it Mitch? Is it Mitch McConnell? Is it he's part of the Republican leadership now, and when they were saying no more earmarks, the Tea Party people was like, we want to ban on earmarks. He's like, wait, goddammit, because that's how I get my shit from my district.
Yeah.
And they don't understand how things are going. So you know they, and they kind of fucked up. I agree with the pundits that say if the Tea Party had not been involved in this election, the Republicans may have controlled the House and the Senate. Yep.
Take that, Tea
Yeah,
Party.
they said that the states that Sarah Palin were endorsing messed them up. But did you? We were talking about earlier how we seen your boy Killer Bush
That's right. I call him Killer, baby.
on Oprah today.
He was fantastic.
You know what? He really was. I really enjoyed the
He was
interview.
funny. He spoke his mind because he wanted to get in that ass after September 11. I was for that. You know, and he really spoke what he really felt. You know, and I like the fact that he talked about having been a governor, he understood how to be calm and a leader at the same time. Excuse me, are you putting a round thing toward my mouth?
Oh,
What's happening? Okay, I've never seen a man hand in a round thing. So now,
Yes.
what's happening in the political briefs that you want to talk about some more of?
Well, I just wanted to give, I guess, some of the latest results from the midterm elections.
Go ahead.
They're still waiting for some places to get their numbers in.
What's the lady that we were supporting for, that I was supporting for?
Kamala Harris.
They said it's really close.
Yes, I think they're still deciding on that one.
Really?
Yeah. Only reason I decided to vote for her was because I didn't like the fact that the Cooley guy was going to have turned back healthcare reform, and everybody needs healthcare.
Yes.
That's why we're going to talk to U.S. vets to talk about why healthcare reform is important. When I was in the Air Force Reserve, and we used to work in the Veterans Hospital. I was so mannish in the Veterans Hospital. My
were you fast?
Uniform wasn't in regulation. It was just right up to regulation. I zip all the way down, bloused out in the back. I used to have Tina Turner pumps and everything. My bed bath was longer than everybody else. It's like, he's clean already. I was like, no. He's not as clean as he should be.
You was making them squeaky, Cheryl.
Yeah, because I liked working in the Veterans
nursing
Hospital.
them back to health.
I loved it because you could do everything. You know, people would wake up and they would go, "What happened to me? Well, I'm all sick." Okay, so wait a minute. Did we miss sounding important?
No, just the House results are the Democrats 188, Republicans 239, undecided 8 seats. And the Senate results were Democrats 53, Republicans 46, and undecided 1. And then there's a few Senate, there's still some ballots being counted for Alaska and in the Senate, and in the House, Virginia, Kentucky, and Illinois, Texas, and New York and California are still counting.
And go ahead and admit that the marijuana thing didn't work. You saying?
No, Proposition 19 did not pass in California.
But you said it wasn't written correctly, right?
Even Arnold Schwarzenegger said that it wasn't. You know, he said, "You mind you smoke."
They'll probably put it back on the ballot at some point.
See, I don't think it's gonna really work. It's, you know, I think that that was an excuse. You know, to say it wasn't written well. I don't think we really want that here. You know, drink, but you smoke some herb. Nah, we're not. So now, wait a minute. We missed one thing that happened politically. Is Sarah Palin's daughter still on Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, Lord. She's still there.
You don't think she could dance?
No, she can't dance.
Really?
I actually thought she did better when she was in the monkey suit, but other than that, no.
Was she in a monkey
You
suit?
disrespecting these monkeys like that?
When she was there, I mean, that's a lot of costume to do
No,
a
I
dance
didn't- I
in.
thought you
So
was
I thought
joking.
she did well in
Thought you was
the
joking.
monkey
In the monkey
suit. Yeah, but other
You
than
watched
that,
last night?
Last night, no, but I know that she's still
Kurt
there.
was good.
I thought Kurt got voted. Oh, Rick Fox got voted off.
Yeah, Rick Fox got voted
I'm
off.
only fooling for the athletes.
But I'm just saying, I think Sarah Palin got a hell of a lot of power. That her daughter is still on Dancing with the Stars.
She has
Sure
all of
do.
Alaska voting. I'm
Hell
sure.
yeah, and more than that.
Yeah.
But she couldn't win an election with McCain. I mean, damn that. That's my boy, but damn that. You know, did you hear President Bush say, well, I don't know if you were at the other part. I don't think he talked about it on the Oprah Winfrey Show, but he felt that McCain made a mistake in picking Sarah Palin.
Oh, he said that?
But he did say Jeb supports Sarah Palin.
Yes, but he also said that Jeb's not running in 2012 because they know whoever goes up against President Obama in 2012 is going to get beat. They're going to get beat down, whether we like the president or not. And I personally support him and love the president, but I was raised to support whoever the president is at that time.
You can definitely say that.
Yeah.
Because you said that when George Bush was in office.
But George Bush was my baby, though.
That was your
my baby. He
Indianapolis.
put more black people in high-ranking positions in the government than Carter and Clinton
he
put
did.
together.
He did.
And he was hella good on Oprah today. Hella good. Do you
He
see
really
when
was.
Do you see when he grabbed Oprah by the hair like, come here, look good. Come here. It was the coolest. It was the coolest. And I
Yeah.
love what he talked about with September 11. And I mean, it was just cool. And how he admitted he didn't do what he was supposed to do in Katrina. You know, so I really dug it. So now when we come back, we will start our show with Veterans Day. If you're a veteran, we want you to call in because we want to pay tribute to our veterans, our troops that are still out there fighting for our freedom. If you are, let me see, I'd like to hear from somebody that was in World War II.
Yes, and if you have someone who's in the military,
Yes.
you want to call in and give them a shout out.
Yeah, get them some love because we can be heard all over the world.
Yes,
This is
877-2106.
106. Any Tuskegee Airmen call in, any Korean War veteran, Vietnam, call in because we want to give everybody some love. Anybody that was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield with me, call in because we still whoop that ass. They better not play with America. I'm telling you, Barack need to get somebody in the garage and mix up some shit like we did to the Japanese.
Oh, no,
my God.
Take that.
What?
Cheryl.
Take that, Japanese.
Let me tell you what we need to do.
That's
we need to
not
take some
right.
pictures of Hiroshima and send it to Afghanistan and go keep fucking around if you want to. That'll let them
Sheryl
know.
Underwood, ladies and
Is
gentlemen,
that, what
keeping
is
it
that? That's
100.
not okay. So when we come back, I
That's
want you to tell
called
me,
100.
am I wrong? Am I wrong that all we need to do is show them some pictures of what we did to other motherfuckers?
And
That's
a
what
note,
Ice Cube
and a
said.
note that
Listen
says,
to no Vaseline
keep fucking
before you
around.
flex
Keep fucking
again.
around if you want to. In your language, it'll be keep fucking around. Just like if we show up them pictures of what happened in the Civil War with all them bodies out in Gettysburg, bloated and shit. Fuck around if you
oh my
want to.
gosh.
What? We won't have to fight nobody if we go, okay, keep fucking around if you want to. That's why y'all don't want me to be the president. I tell the troops, fuck them up, start the planes, we get about this bitch. Okay, what we playing?
Stop
What we
wasting
playing?
time.
She'll have me
What
standing
is
on the
that?
White House front steps with French braids in my hair because I have to fight with her ass.
Okay, wait a minute, turn this up. Let me see what we playing. Oh, we're an American band. That's right. This is dedicated to all the troops. All of them. You know why? Because the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard makes a mighty fist. We're an American band, and we'll whoop your motherfucking ass. We may not win the fight, but we're going to win the fucking war. All right, we'll be back after this break. It is Veterans Day. We'll be back with our guests after this break. Yeah, I picked this song because we taking care of business all over the world. If you need somebody to fight for your freedom, call America. That's right. Taking care of business. That's Bachman Turner Overdrive, baby. BTO, baby. Y'all know nothing about that. You was looking at me like, what the hell is that?
I know that from the commercial show. That's all I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to think who
play
does
this.
it.
That's a great song.
Like Office Depot or something.
No. Oh, you're so ignorant. Oh, that's a great song. That's right. This is dedicated to all our troops that are overseas and the troops that are here in the States taking care of business. Because they know, don't bring that shit over here. We taking care of business. It's the Veterans Day show. We're paying tribute to our veterans and our troops who are currently serving in the military. Veterans Day, World War I officially ended June 28, 1919 with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. The actual fighting between the Allies and Germany had ended, and it was considered Armistice Day. Wow. Wasn't that cool?
And then
Armistice.
they changed it to Veterans.
What is armistice?
Who changed it? Who changed it? I guess because they called it Armistice back then.
What is armistice?
The shit over.
I think that's what it is. I'm going to look up on dictionary.com. You're right. Yep.
Okay, look
the
at
shit is
It's
over.
over.
Armistice. You're right, Sheryl Underwood.
So, Fortis, who do we have on the show with us today to help us celebrate Veterans Day?
Our guest this evening is Mr. William A. Wallace. He is a veteran and the clinical director of U.S. Vets in Long Beach.
Very handsome ladies calling Cotton Ball.
He's held that position over the past 7 years. And before that, he worked for the VA. He is here to speak about female veteran issues, homeless veteran issues, and their organization, U.S. Vets. Mr. Wallace served with the Army and a Special Operations PSYOP unit for 8 years. And he was also a NATO peacekeeper in Bosnia in 1995 and 1996. And also with us is, I have to say, a fellow broadcaster, too, Mr. Michael Tileman. He is a 30-year vet and the executive director of the USO Greater Los Angeles Area, Inc., Bob Hope Hollywood USO at LAX, USO at Ontario International Airport, and USO at Palm Springs International Airport, amongst many other things. Please welcome Mr. Tileman. And also with us he's a part of the Foxxhole family. He is also a young vet, is Scott Taylor. He served in the Army in the Iraqi War. So welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, Michael, what does the USO need from us
What
now?
is the USO?
Well, the
Yeah.
USO's been around since 1941.
Ooh, I like
And
his one.
most people tend to think of the USO, when they think of it at all, as Bob Hope over there entertaining with his little old pack of gypsies during World War II. And actually, entertainment is only about 33% of what we do. We're providing all sorts of hospitality services for the troops. Shut up or I'll kill you.
I love him. I I love him. So what are the other? So you said it's 33% of what you do. What's the other 66%?
We're doing primarily providing hospitality services, making sure the GIs are taken care of at airports around the world.
So I'm not really supposed to touch anybody when I go on a USO tour.
I'm there. You can touch me.
That's what I'm talking about.
What does the O stand for in
Come
USO?
on down. United Service Organizations.
Okay. So okay, those of us around this table, could we make donations to the USO?
Oh, baby, you better believe it. That's one of the things. There's a great misconception among the public that the USO is funded by the government or the military, and that is not the case.
That's incorrect.
We have to raise every dime and dollar to make sure that we're able to take care of our troops. We need about $500,000 I raise each year in the greater Los Angeles area.
So what we could do is when we go through the airport, so let's say Glenda going through the airport, right? And she's had a wonderful...
definitely got to come visit me. Now, we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you just come on down.
Let me do it like the color purple. You can't have Nettie.
But I can't
You
have
can't
Celia
see
here.
it. You can't
You're out of your board. You're out of your gourd, girl. You know, that's not going to work.
Well, so if you're walking through the airport, you see a USO office or somewhere, you can walk in and just give them a donation.
You sure can, and it's so appreciated because it allows us to purchase food and snacks and all that good stuff. We do everything for the guys down there. We provide transportation when they're in trouble between bases. We help them get aboard different planes. A lot of these guys, they're warriors. They're well-trained warriors, but they're 18 and 19 years of age.
Oh, my goodness.
And yet, many of them come up and say, what's it like to be on an airplane?
Yes,
And they've never, most of them have not left home for an extended period before. And here they're off, about to face an uncertain future and do the things that our country needs done for the world and for our country. And
let me say it in a way you can't say it. Whoop that ass and come home in one piece. And then
whip their ass and come home in one piece. I can say that too.
That's right. And then get them some good jobs and get them some housing and everything.
And that's one of the things we're facing, and I know Bill's going to probably speak about that. Making sure these guys and gals are taken care of when they come back, because I tell you, they're taking care of us.
Right, because that's what the GI Bill was all about. That's what, different housing was all about when they came back in certain wars. Now, let me make sure I got your name right, because I'll blow it up in here and call you a different name. Bill.
Yes.
Okay, what is U.S. Vets, and how can we support U.S. Vets?
U.S. Vets is, we're a nonprofit veteran service organization that provides housing and programs to homeless veterans.
Really?
Yes, and we have 10 sites around the country. 3 sites here in Southern California. One in Inglewood that serves 450 veterans tonight.
That's right.
That's right. And down in Long Beach, where I'm the clinical director, we have 450 homeless veterans who live at our site, involved in programs from work reentry, substance abuse treatment programs, permanent housing for disabled veterans. We've got an outstanding women's program. And our newest program is called VRP, which is a Veterans Reentry Project for recently separated OEF and OIF veterans.
Okay, Scott, explain to me what he just said.
OIF, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, OIF and OEF.
Okay, and so you've been recently separated
from the service.
And because Uncle Sugar does everything, when we was in it, we called him Uncle Sugar, because he does everything for you. The clothes, you get your medical care, you get your housing. When you're sick, Uncle Sugar would tell you can't go to work. You have to be on quarters, so you have to stay somewhere. So if anything happens to you, the police don't deal with you. Uncle Sugar sends his boys, either MPs or something. So everything's taken care of for you. But some people have a hard time separating from that much structure.
Yeah, they really do. There's a lot of people don't have the psychosocial support. They don't have the means and poor discharge planning coming from the military, because everything's taken care of. They don't really look ahead. They don't pay attention at the beginning about what benefits they have. And when they're getting out, all they want to do is get out.
Right.
And before you know it,
so what it sounds like is USO, it serves a purpose, serves one set of variables. Then you have US Vets, serves another purpose. You have paralyzed veterans that serve another purpose. Wounded warriors serving another purpose. So why can't we all just work together and have one big night? Big night, like one big night of benefit for the stars. Just like, when George Clooney and them got together. Why we can't have one big night for that?
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea. I think our CEO and President Steve Peck, who's
Is that Gregory Peck, baby?
it is.
You lying.
Steve is a Vietnam combat veteran. He was a lieutenant in Marine, and he's Gregory Peck's son. And he looks just like Gregory Peck, but with blonde
Same
hair.
jawline, and
Really?
Steve's a good pal.
Oh, Steve's a great guy.
Marvelous
But
man.
he's been trying to put together a comedy event, sort of like the thing that.
Sure,
both of you-
Kyle?
Hey.
Okay, me and you.
There it is.
Kyle
Well,
is an excellent
I'll
comic.
go first and then you go.
Okay, so you want to get some comics together.
What-
I'm
we
doing
would
that right
love
now with
to
the
do
USO.
that.
We could help you out.
Sure, absolutely.
We just did one with Jay Leno and Paula Poundstone and George Wallace, a whole gang the other
Ooh,
night.
and great comics.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and you know, we know it'd be great if we can get Earthquake, you know, because Earthquake, he's on the Foxxhole
and Cleveland.
network. Yep, but he
Joe
was in
Clare.
the
Gabriel
Air Force.
Iglesias.
I think he was in Air
Gabriel's
Force.
crazy
Yeah.
son, you guys.
Okay, do you have any, because I noticed that we got famous veterans such as Paul Mooney. So here's the question.
Paul was down
Paul
doing
Mooney
on
was
for
a
us.
veteran?
Yeah,
Yes,
do we
there
have
you
to clean up the material, or can we do a second show?
Second show.
A second show, right? So we can do a second show.
Sure, I'll do
Right.
a second show anytime.
Okay, so how do we get that together? Because I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm just gonna say we're on the Foxxhole Network with the fabulous Jamie Foxx, who really is very philanthropic, more than you know. You know, he's very philanthropic, and these guys have great heart. You know, maybe we should, you know, show what we need to do for these vets. I can't believe Ice-T was a vet. Poetess.
Wow.
That's where he learned how to
Are you
shoot.
serious?
Yes, he was.
Gary Owens. Well, we know Elvis Presley because when he made G.I. Blues and Kid Galahad, it's a good ass movie right there. Don't know nothing about that. Elvis was the bomb. Mystical.
Yes.
Mystical is a veteran.
So you know what we
Is he
should
out?
do? We should
Yes.
call all vets to do a show, and we pull together a few organizations. We get about 5,000 to 10,000 seats. And let's do it. Let's go to the phones. We have Brian from Arizona. Brian, happy Veterans Day. Are you calling in to shout out a veteran or to say what branch you served?
Okay.
What you got?
I think
Brian.
Let's see what you got. Oh my gosh. Okay. This caller is already a platinum VIP caller. You know, and I'm sure everybody around this table knows this man. Welcome to the Sheryl Underwood Show. Sinbad.
Sinbad. Is he there?
I know.
What's going on?
I knew Sinbad when I was at
Sinbad.
Castle Air Force Base.
He entertained me. And Bonds.
Sinbad.
Yeah, no,
There he
you're
is.
there.
Where you
Hey, Sinbad, you got Glenda,
Hey.
poetess.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
How y'all doing?
doing great. This is our Veterans Day show. Well, first, welcome to the Sheryl Underwood Show. Please tell the story. I knew Sinbad when he was at Castle Air Force Base. Gorgeous, fine, beautiful body, played basketball, and didn't you perform in Tops and Blues, Sinbad?
Yeah, you know, I took first place in auditions for Thompson Blue,
Yes.
and then they kicked me out before I could go.
Really?
Yes, I got kicked out the Air Force.
This
Yes.
was Castle Air Force Base. So anybody that
Yes,
knew
right.
all of us from Castle Air Force Base, tell us your military story, Sinbad.
But, you know, I ended up joining the military. Actually, I was going to join the Coast Guard, and I went down to the AFES to join the Coast Guard. The guy said, man, if you're going to fly helicopters, I thought I was going to fly helicopters. He said, you're going to fly helicopters. You need to join the Air Force. I said, yeah, I'll join the Air Force, because what I thought was going to happen, Cheryl, I thought I was going to join the Air Force, make the Air Force basketball team, and the Harlem Globetrotters would get me out.
No, you didn't.
That was the plan.
I did. Yes, I did.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did. 'Cause, you know, I was always at the gym playing. I thought that was going
That's
to be my
right.
life.
That's right. Sure was. So we've been talking about. We're here with William Wallace with U.S. Vets, and we're here with I don't want to mess up your name.
Tileman.
Michael Tileman
Tileman.
from the USO. And what we were thinking about, Sinbad, and thank you for calling in, is having a bigger show with a bunch of comedians and everybody that was in the military to raise money. What do you think about that?
Man, we should do that. We should actually go over.
Oh, absolutely.
No
I
doubt.
went
We go
over.
over,
did
man.
come over and see me. You entertained me, Sinbad.
Well, you know, we
Yeah, I
went
came-
over. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You
we
did
went.
in
we
Bosnia,
did.
too,
We had
you were there with
Bosnia.
Cheryl
Yep.
Crow and the First Lady and Chelsea.
That's right. We went
And
over there. Then I just did Europe too. I just took my daughter with me to Europe. We hit about maybe 8 bases over in Europe.
Well, as long as they let me do like 7 minutes, because I got 7 good clean ones.
No,
but they
no,
don't want to
don't
hear the
count
good.
them
Yeah, they don't want to hear the good
No,
clean.
no.
Well, I went over with the Sergeant Major of the Army in 2007 and 2009 with the Sergeant Major of the Army, and we went to the forward operating bases in Afghanistan. We went to Kuwait, went to Iraq. But I would love to. Well, I think sometimes the bases overseas get a little bit more entertainment. But what about
Oh,
the
they do.
bases here on the CONUS?
We send
You know,
a
I've
number of
done.
shows.
So we do like we want to do like bases. I like, you know what? I do bases here, especially for the wives and the husbands and the kids who've been left behind.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing with our sorority. We're adopting Fort Bragg and all military bases. But Michael, what were you saying the USO does?
Yeah, Sinbad, you remember Johnny Grant, of course, over at KTLA, and I was with Johnny for 40 years there, and we've been trying. Just before Johnny died, we'd gone down to Gitmo and done a comedy show there as well, but. You know, with you and all of our friends in the business, I'll bet you we could put something together to raise the money to help U.S. vets and USO and get Bob Fisher over at the Ice House and Jamie Masada from the Laugh Factory.
You know, Bud Friedman's
and Bud, you betcha.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
The three of them, you know, we could do it simultaneously in 3 different clubs, or we could do it at
that would be great.
Major auditorium.
You know what would be great? A roast.
Oh, baby.
We should remember Comic Relief? Remember they did Comic Relief?
We
should do a version of that military.
Yes.
Make it real big. I mean,
and
Whoopi and all this, we should make it real.
And Robin will, you know, he's very supportive of the military.
Yeah, that would be great. Now, first of all, we need somebody to lead it. So, Sinbad, I guess you're volunteer to lead it, right?
And we can run it. We can run it through the USO, no problem with that, because we do this all over the world. And
I think it'd be a great
somebody
thing.
call the Bob Hope USO, and we'll make it happen.
But you know what will happen? After it gets so big, Portis, the president will invite us to the White House, and he'll give us the Medal of Freedom and everything.
It ain't that easy, kiddo.
What? It's not that easy.
There's a guy just down the street that has the Medal of Freedom named Buzz Aldrin. You know where he had to
go?
Like an astronaut or something?
You better believe it.
Okay, then he walked on the moon or something like that. I do stuff like that.
I think I lived in Buzz's old house, so I can probably get that.
Oh, you did?
Okay, good. Yeah. I tell you what, Sinbad, when you get to the White House and get the Medal of Freedom, I'm gonna walk behind you.
Well, I'll take you in. You just stay close. Just stay close.
They be like, your little security guard guy got to stand outside.
Well, you know who else showed up with Jay Leno was Arsenio Hall came by and spent 10 minutes on stage with us.
You know, if I lose 50 more pounds, I look exactly like Arsenio.
Stop it.
He just committed suicide.
Do it. Watch this. I sit here. I know y'all get the feeling. Get the feeling.
I'm down. Hey, Cheryl, if y'all want to do this, we all do it.
Well, let me tell you what we're doing, and this is the reason why we're having this show, and I want to thank Glenda, because Glenda's going to get in our poster. We're going to do.
Oh my goodness.
I've been trying to do this for about 3 years with you to get all my good, gorgeous girlfriends, and we want to do a pinup calendar like they used to do in the 30s and the 40s. And I got these great girlfriends, and I can't tell you this one person, but when you go home, type in PASON. This girl got the greatest body in the history of mankind.
Phyllis Diller, yeah.
Ooh. You are killing me. So we want to do a pinup poster and everything. But what we're doing in Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, this is the kickoff of our Adopt a Military Base and Adopt a Military Family. And if there's no base in your area, we want you to adopt the USO or Wounded Warriors. But now we know about U.S. vets, and especially what you're doing for women. We definitely want to adopt your program, because we have 501c7 and C3 under our organization as well. And what you're doing for women, we really want to support that. So, and I mean, this is what we need to be doing. And you know what? It seems that POTUS, tell me, do you believe this? That if it is not a war being fought at this time, our communities don't seem to support it like we used to support in the 30s and 40s with the Tuskegee Airmen, with the Doughboys, with even go farther back, Buffalo Soldiers. We don't support the military like we used to.
You know what's happening right now though? I think remember like during Vietnam when the war became unpopular. It's not so much they don't support the war. I think right now you have people who more support these soldiers than ever before. But now the war has become such a bad taste. Even some political people who are for the war now. I tell Obama, you got to end this war. You're some of the main people that got us in the war.
Right.
So what's happening now, and what's not being talked about is how really in bad shape these soldiers are coming home.
Yes.
Because it's black eye. So no one wants to talk about how bad the mental and physical condition of the soldiers coming back home.
Well, I know when we went to Afghanistan out on this forward operating basis, we talked about what they needed, and we, talked about coloring books and pads and papers. It's ignorance and lack of education that allows a terrorist to control a country. So, we need to do more of that, and also support our troops, because they're out there. What they do all day when they're not fighting, they're watching, DVDs and things like that. So those things are important, right?
Yes. Another good friend of ours, Gary Sinise. Of course, Gary has done so much. And he's a good pal. I know he's a pal of yours and pal of mine and Steve's and all. But you know what? He's got this program for the Iraqi children, and you hit it right on the head there. He gets the materials to these kids so they realize somebody cares. Somebody really cares and helps them learn skills and other activities. You got to get together with Gary on some of these things and his programs, and it's
all right.
It's eye-opening.
So let me ask you a question. So really what we're hearing around this table, we need to come back and start this on Veterans Day, which is Thursday, and we need to come back maybe for this, maybe 3 to 4 months, come back quarterly. And let's see what other organizations are doing, because if we don't keep talking about it, then, you know, it'll just kind of die.
And we can do it, you know, with good people behind it. And, you know, as Sinbad says, and we all say, you know, you support the troops. You don't support the political action that might have caused this to happen.
That's right. That's exactly.
Because that's a lot of bullshit.
And
you don't do that. You just support the guys and gals.
It's also so much about awareness, because, you know, the general public has no idea that there's 250,000 homeless veterans tonight on the streets, in shelters, in programs, and I would have to think that if they knew about that, they wouldn't stand for it.
But then do people think because if you the view of the homeless is drug addicted and really doesn't want to live somewhere. So then that's what you think these guys are, but you don't understand what stress they went through, you know, combat stress, things like that. Scott, you might be able to speak to some of the things that you've seen, that type of stress and pressure when you come home. And, you know, what we've seen is a lot of suicide, a lot of domestic violence when they come home because they can't control the thing that was turned on to get them to save their life where they were.
Yeah, that's the open.
Well, it's a different kind of war, though. It's a different kind of war. These guys are fighting landmines. They're not fighting people. They're fighting landmines. They're getting blown up, concussions. It's a war. You're not even fighting the people.
Right.
You're fighting something around, buried.
I was going to ask you, gentlemen, you veterans, that is war a lot different in this new era? I mean, with new technology and more powerful weapons, or
you're finding with the guys and gals being wounded by these horrible IEDs and whatnot, they are returning home missing far more bits and pieces than we ever did in Vietnam or any of the other wars. And there's such horrible injuries they're suffering, and yet we're able to save them. Their quality of life is certainly going to be changed as a result of the horrors they've gone through, but that is one of the really big changes, just to see how many survive and have to go through this incredible re-education as to how to live.
And every war is different. The war I was involved in Bosnia was very different. It was a peacekeeping mission. We were there to end a war between three ethnic groups. Right. And there was a lot of warfare on civilians there. But it doesn't really matter. If you've been in a hostile environment, you come back with issues. You come back with issues. So we tell our veterans who are coming home now and who we work with on a daily basis to learn to live with the symptoms that you have of PTSD. Don't let the symptoms live with you. And there's a difference.
Absolutely. So, Kyle, when you signing up? Because you're still young enough to get in. What's that?
Sign up for a USO tour to go entertain the troops?
No, I'm sign up.
You wuss. Yeah. And say all those words to me.
We love that, Michael, but Michael, on this show, he's the pussy.
Say all that.
Because if I went in.
Amen.
But he's a purple people leader. I heard that earlier,
Yes, sir. Hey, Sinbad, man, good to meet you, man, and thank you for what you've done to the country, too, for the country. I want to say that.
And Sinbad, I got to tell you, I was in a hangar in Tuzla when you came with Sheryl Crow and the First Lady, Hillary Clinton in Chelsea, and your helicopter was late because of fog, but when you got there, you were so funny, and then some trombone act sergeant major took over the show, and you only got to entertain us for about 3 minutes, but you were the best, man. I appreciate it.
I know, man. They had me, then they had me, they dropped me off in the mud. They dropped me to the spot. They said, man, there's no stage. They put some plywood down.
I know.
And I couldn't see the soldiers, man. Also, they started coming out of trees and places. I said, man, am I in the spot to get shot?
Like Eskimos, like Eskimos have different breeds of snow. You have different breeds of mud in Bosnia.
I tell you, man, it was crazy.
It was nuts.
Now, what we notice is there's a battle to make sure that our veterans can vote. because we just had the midterm elections. You know, how are we all feeling about the fact that our veterans had a harder time voting, but there's some people here that didn't send in their ballot. I'm not going to say who. One of them's on Dancing with Stars.
Oh.
Crickets.
If they don't vote, they shouldn't be allowed to participate in any of the good stuff.
Man, you my main man right there. You are seriously my main man. And you know.
We talk about voting in America. Remember now, we've never been denied, other than the black race and women. We're not denied. We were denied back in the day, but since that was such a long time ago, people don't understand that there was a time when everyone couldn't do this.
That's right.
So I think sometimes when you're allowed to do things and it's part of everyday life, you don't pay much attention to it. It's when you're denied something, it becomes very strong with you. When you're denied entry, you deny, I can't come in here, you're not allowed in here. You really
want it.
And you exercise it. But then, when people have always had it, they're like, I'll do it next time.
Right. But then they never look at these countries where our troops are over there fighting to give them the ability to make a choice. How proud, you know, the Iraqi people are to hold up the finger with the ink on it, you know, or even countries where they were controlled by the Russians and then they were allowed to have their own freedom to do something. See, that's why, I'm just going to tell you something. I'm absolutely biased. Absolutely biased. I believe that there should always be military funding, not just to secure us, but what happens after they've served. You know, there should be housing, should be education.
But afterwards, I think is more important. When you're fighting, you're fighting.
That's right, absolutely.
But afterwards, you come back to life that's in shambles. You had a baby you never met.
That's right.
You got a child that doesn't know you. You got a wife that doesn't understand you. A husband that doesn't understand you anymore. You got a job you lost. Because this war, a lot of our National Guard went. And remember, a lot of people signed for National Guard just to get benefits and whatever.
Yeah. And they thought they were only coming in. They thought they were only coming in for 1 week in a month. 15 days.
Boy, that changed. That changed dramatically.
I'm gonna tell you something. I was in the Air Force Reserve, and I'm gonna tell you my little story before we go to break. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna save my story until we come back from break. Portis, you want me to go to break? Okay, when we come back, you're going to hear the story of my military career, and then we're going to take some of your calls. You're listening to Sinbad, who I knew from Castle Air Force Base. We have some guests here, Scott Taylor, who was in 2004 Operation Iraqi Freedom. Michael, say it, Tileman.
There you go.
Did I get it right? Tileman, 30-year veteran, executive director of USO Greater Los Angeles area, Ontario Airport, and Palm Springs International Airport. And we have William Wallace, who is a veteran and the clinical director of U.S. Vets in Long Beach. OG Portis is here. Glenda the Good Witch with the great G-Spot. Ignorant Kyle is here. And Marcus Maximus Aurelius, the one we call Gladiator, is here working the board for us because White Jim Kelly is under the weather, but he supports our country as well and supports our troops. Okay, wait a minute. He got turned it up. Is that Jer Airliner? Hey, go ahead and play that Steve Miller Band and tell the troops that we're going to have them jet airliners fueled up so they can put their backpacks on there and we're going to bring them home. You're listening to the Sheryl Underwood Show. Happy Veterans Day. We'll be right back after this break. Pull up this car BMW, see if we can, raffle off one.
Yeah, she lied. Let's raffle off
Raffle
Glenda's.
one and I'll have all the raffle tickets.
Right.
What? I mean, wouldn't that be a cool, okay, come on, Mike and
Bill.
Bill, wouldn't that be a nice
Oh, heavens, yes.
raffle off a car?
We've done that before.
Yeah, because you can donate cars, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can donate cars, and both your organizations will take a state planning donations. So if you want to give property and homes and insurance policies.
That's right. And we'll send you out to kill the people after we get this.
Oh my gosh.
Mike, keep it real.
Oh, let me do this too before we get into entertainment. Watts Coffee House is here. Let me tell you why we had them come back. They came to my birthday show, but we had them come back because the food was so great, and we wanted our guests and the veterans to know that we loved them. Yes. So we want to have food here, and the food is fantastic.
Cheryl, they put a hurt on me this time.
Oh my God.
They got me over here
meatloaf,
uncomfortable.
The gravy.
They got me over here feeling like Thanksgiving. I'm about to take a nap on this table.
So now where can we, if you're coming into Watts, what's the address? Where can we find you?
1827 East 103rd Street on the northwest corner of 103rd and Wilmington in the heart of Watts.
Right across the street
and then
from
we have
Flo
chocolate
Joe.
cake over there for
Oh
you.
my God! Oh, that's a cake.
Chocolate cake.
Oh my God! And then is that your brother?
That's my oldest brother.
Your
Happy
oldest
birthday!
It's his birthday, and we just found out Kevin is a veteran as well.
Birthday.
Kevin, tell us, veteran of what branch of service?
Yeah, I'm a veteran of the United States Army.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Desiree, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to figure out, is he with Desiree? I don't know. I'm looking at him. He's looking. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to wait it out and see what's going on.
Desiree, before she found out, she was already looking at your man that she thought was your man.
No, I said, I'm going to be respectful. I ain't going to be a skank bitch.
No, yeah, you was.
I'm going to wait it out and see what's going on up in here. I'm going to watch and observe and
she
take
aimed
notes.
the titties right at your brother. That's what she did. That's what she do when she gets you in the sight. She aims the titties at you.
Oh my God!
Bam.
Look, I'm already attracted to you without the BMW. So,
That's nice. That's nice. Do you
I hope
still
you got
have
$1,000, brother.
Right. Do you still have some of your veterans money or something? You still have any veteran money or something?
Oh yeah.
That's all it takes.
I'm always willing to donate, but I'm all about the veterans. So
wonderful. And you know what I was asking Desiree is there any way that because we're finding that veterans are homeless, they're hungry. How do we get? And I know I'm not probably going to say this as politically correct as I said. What about the surplus meals that maybe we can pack up and just give to someone who's out there, just to know we still care? Because right now we've become so desensitized. We can walk over a homeless person, as if they're not there. So what can we do?
Desiree said she can't walk over.
I can't. They told me stop touching people and stop sitting down with them and having coffee. And because
Oprah gave one $100 the other day.
Well, even a homeless person, I'll be like, "Bitch, don't you have someplace to go?" Because I be sitting down with them and talking. So what do we do with the surplus? How can we effectuate that in restaurateurs? Maybe we can start a whole thing under one of you guys' organizations, U.S. Vets or USO or Wonder Warriors, where we can go to restaurants and say, your surplus food, can you give it to homeless individuals?
I think that's an excellent idea. I would love to participate.
And maybe we can write some type of tax exemption plan where you get a tax benefit or a something, because you're a small business,
right? And
a woman running a business. I mean, I think it's fantastic.
They should just send me that kind of money Glenda looking for, huh?
Right. Right. Because I think if the community worked together, if we can get housing. We have to do a drug intervention as well, because a lot of them, it's not that they're drug addicts. It's I believe, from the ones that I know personally, it's a way to kind of calm the demons. Right. Sure. That's right. It's a coping mechanism.
It definitely is.
And when the government cuts those programs, and it's my understanding, and I hate to say this, programs were cut under one of our great presidents, great communicator, Ronald Reagan, and that's what kind of put people out in the street. Am I correct on that?
You are, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's a certain door. I wanted to speak on it real quick. It's a certain door that's open. I'm more of a younger soldier. First of all, big respect to both of y'all gentlemen sitting next to me, because y'all paved the way for us to be there. I was in Iraq, and my only thing is like you really right. I mean, you get back, you got certain doors that's opened up in your life that most people don't understand that you're going through, as far as like what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, how you live your life. You got to change. It's been about 5 years since I've been back, and I'm just now getting to the point. And they said one thing that's real is like you got to have some type of you have to have some type of establishment, some type of help, some type of
infrastructure.
Some people go to church, some people go have a job, whatever it is, But I'll say one other thing. Speaking for a lot of veterans, if you really care about us, give us a job, hire us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We need work. People work hard, especially veterans. They're some of the hardest workers.
They're most dedicated. They know to come on time.
Exactly.
They know to wear what they're supposed to wear. Yes. They obey rules because that's how we were indoctrinated. If I would not have gone through basic training, I don't think I would have the work ethic. Because what started, and I meant to say this when we came back, what really started me, I saw the picture of my father who was in the Army. I went into the Air Force Reserve because I fell in love with somebody that was in the Air Force. I knew I was going to go into the military because I wanted that discipline. And I agree with Israel. Everybody in the country needs to serve for 2 years. It's a discipline that's necessary. Even if you say, well, we free. Well,
I'll fold the clothes.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you something. You can do it. I could not run that 1.5 miles in a time period until I got out of basic training. But what made it great for me was that, when I was in high school, they put all the leaders in the room. I was a leader. I was a rally commissioner, and I was at Castle Air Force Base, Atwater High, and I was a rally commissioner, and I was a Black Student Union leader. They put us all in the room. They said, we want you to take this test. See your leadership capability. It was an ASVAB test. Took the ASVAB test, and they said, well, we want you to consider coming into the military. I was like, oh, that's a no-brainer. I'm going, I was going to go in anyway. What made it so proud for me is, when you first go in, they strip you of everything strip you down so they could rebuild you. I didn't think I could handle it. And my TI, Sergeant Cruzan, Lackland Air Force Base, because I was going into the Air Force Reserve, I couldn't believe I could run it. I was afraid of heights. I couldn't believe that I could scale that cliff and then scale back down. And I couldn't believe that I could do the things that they had me do. And they used to call me, you got Sinbad back, they called me, Grits Mitch Miller Underwood, because I had to have grits every morning because you were doing all that movement. You know, I was burning calories. Girl, I was a zero.
Were you, Sheryl?
A zero with the butt.
Oh my goodness!
And I was a zero.
I know.
It was the bomb. But I was Mitch Miller because I used to do the cadence marching. You know, where you know
Yes.
all that stuff. So I would walk down the street and do that. But I just couldn't believe who I was after I got through basic training. And it was my TI that was in tears because he knew what I was when I got there, and he knew how hard. I didn't want to get washed back. I didn't want to, and the military people know what I'm talking about. I just didn't want to start those 6 weeks over again. And I knew I could do it. And once you do it, I think everybody in the country should do it. Yeah. I bet we wouldn't have so many people in jail and incarcerated. And I bet we wouldn't have so many kids that don't have respect for authority and don't understand that there's life after your childhood. So I believe it should happen for our country.
I think they should do that as soon as my kids turn 49.
Well, absolutely. I think 2
All
years,
these little punk ass
2
kids
years
need
of
to go to the
everybody
military.
coming into the military, I'm telling you, you get a job. I have tolerated stuff that if I had gone to the military, I would have told people to shut the fuck up a long time ago. But because I had
you
a
would have
respect,
told them even faster than you do now.
Yes, because I have
right now
a
you have
respect.
about 9
I have to
seconds
restrain it, but I have a respect for
you go
authority.
off on a nigga.
And you know what? What they couldn't understand was why, like when I saw General Petraeus, I jumped on him and hugged him, and he was like, "Sir, I love your movies. I like Passenger 57, but
You so silly,
You are
Sheryl.
ignorant.
Wrong.
but I'd like to meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders." I was like, "Okay, you know." So
He was so stupid.
Can I just say that I never knew Scott, our intern here at the Foxxhole, was a veteran. And Scott, I just want to say I have always thought you were a very respectable young man, very intelligent, extremely kind, and it just shows, or it just proves now that I understand now your character and how you express yourself and how you carry yourself. It all makes sense now.
What's up on the ass though?
Shut up, Kyle.
So stupid.
Can I be serious?
I'm speaking like his agent. Okay.
I never knew that. And
How
when
about that ass?
And you know, we're here, and everyone can't see. Our listeners can't see. But when I look at Scott, when he's speaking about being in the service, the intensity in his eyes and the seriousness in his face and in his tone, I just am concerned, just to a certain degree.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you. You know, I mean, I've been here for a long time. I don't talk about it that much.
I never knew it.
But most men and women in the military don't talk about their experiences. And if you look at the World War II generation, they don't talk about Tuskegee Airmen. You know, they don't talk about it. They just serve. They felt like that was their duty. Let me take it. Look, can I ask you for this? We got Sinbad back, right? Yeah. Okay, Sinbad back. Let's have him wrap up. But what we're gonna do? Let's carry this topic through. There's no business like show business, because you got something that we need to talk about in here, and we're gonna ask our guests if they can stay. And then we got some Sex and Serious that's happening, and we got some. We're gonna let Kyle talk a little sports with us, because the troops really love the sports. So we're gonna ask our guests to stay. We're gonna ask William and Michael to stay. And Sinbad, what do you have to say to the people as we get ready to go to this break?
Hey, I just want to say, I mean, I was a crazy soldier. Like y'all talk about how the military made y'all get up earlier. I was the opposite. I was a nut, and I was crazy and basic trained. But they made me the dorm chief, which is the job. I mean, anybody in the Air Force knows that means you're in charge of the dorm. And I did not want to be the leader, but the guy realized I probably was going to be the craziest one and be as big as headache.
Right, it
So
gives
he
you
made
something
me
to do. Right.
Charge, man. And so the guys at the end, when it was all done, they said, "Man, we hated you. We realized you were funny like this." I said, "I didn't want to be in charge, y'all. 18 years old crying because you never away from home and you can't make up your bed." So I had to show guys how to make up their bed and quit crying and all that kind of stuff. But I was a little older when I got in, but I never would have been a comic. It was the Air Force Tops and Blue. It was the Air Force talent show.
Yeah.
So I mean, and a lot of my friends and I travel. So I said, the reason I go back and I do things for the military because it's what they did for me, in spite of me being crazy. Inspired me. Said there was an opportunity there for me. I got a chance to see Roger and Zapp come through to perform. I saw.
Yes, that's right.
My eyes got open. I did my first play. Was in the Air Force. I did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Wow.
So that's how I became an actor. And there's a lot of my friends that were military, most of the cats I went to college with. And my dad was in the Korean War. You know, he was an MP when no brothers were MP. So my thing was this. You know, I look back now and say, man, I was in the military. I did my thing. We had no wars going on when I was there, but I was a boom operator. I refueled airplanes in the air.
You're lying.
Oh, yeah.
You were a boom operator?
I was a boom operator, girl.
Oh my God! I was so in love with you.
Too.
Yeah, I was so in love with Sinbad. So in love, and I was too young to be flirting with him, and I lied.
You were 12 years old, man. You scared me half to death.
Sinbad.
She approached my car and said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm going home." She was like, "Take me with you." So you don't have to go home? No, I want to live with you. I took off. I said, "Look."
Sinbad, this is Kyle. Was she fine at 12? Was she fine, brother?
Yeah, man. The thing is, she was scared. It was like she was 12, but she knew what she was talking about. The way she looked at me, I said,
she was serious.
Grown woman. I was playing basketball. I said, look, I was scared. I said, little girl, man, I can't be at the gym with this girl.
That's Sheryl Underwood, y'all.
What's that, man? We'd love to have you, and you are welcome to come and sit in this chair if I'm away. I got the greatest team here at the Foxxhole, you know, and we'd love to have you come by and sit in. And, you know, I think you will enjoy it and talk to people because, you know, our listeners really care about what's on the minds of the people.
All right, cool, man. Anytime. And keep this military. Let me know with this military thing, all right, Cheryl? If y'all gonna do this, let me know.
Absolutely.
We will work that
Yeah,
issue.
I think we should do that. I think we should keep pushing on that. So we're going to go to the break, and when we come back, we got a little bit of There's No Business Like Show Business with OG Portis, Glenda Good Witch with the Great G-Spot. Then Kyle and our guests are going to talk a little bit of sports. Now that we got you guys here, we're going to keep you here. So you talk a little sports. Oh, okay, you got to play all of this. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. By the Osmonds. That's how we feel about all our troops. Nobody's left behind. Everybody comes home. We'll be back after this break. It's Veterans Day. All right, it's time for There's No Business Like Show Business with OG Poetess and Glenda the Good Witch with the Great G-Spot. All right, Poetess, what you got?
Who at the table saw Colored Girls this weekend?
Also known as my brother says, all brothers ain't shit.
So I guess me and Kyle are the only ones who saw
Y'all
the
want to
movie.
see all that?
Y'all saw it already?
What happened?
You know what? I'm still digesting the film. I really don't know how I feel about it. I think what annoyed me in some parts of it, and I know that the original play was a big poem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think some of the
old.
poetry in the movie got on my nerves.
I was getting real old. I was proud of the brother, man. You got to go support. I was going to support, but damn, there was Hill Harper, Foxxhole family, was the only good brother in that movie. The movie really could have been called, I ain't gonna say ninjas ain't shit, but hoes and tricks.
You know what? Me being a woman, that crossed my mind when I did see the movie. I kind of felt it was kind of hard on our men. I did think that.
And then was one of the guys a veteran who was traumatic and something happened?
He was
traumatic.
the craziest one.
Yes.
And he was the craziest one.
Don't give up too much.
I just say.
I'm gonna give him the whole motherfucking movie. The shit's sad.
I heard it was very depressing.
They should have called it Precious too.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it did come in. Well, it did come in this week at number 3. It made an estimated $20 million.
Here's what me and Glenda
done well with the title. I thought the title was going to
turn out
because when I went in there, wasn't that many people. I think it was about 4 color girls in the room, and there was only people. It was empty.
Well, you know what? I actually saw it in Atlanta this weekend, and there were lines at the theater.
Yeah,
in fact, we were trying to go. And it was one episode was sold out, and I actually seen Medea in lines.
Oh, really?
Medea was there.
Really? You saw somebody look like Medea? Did you see Tyler?
Somebody was dressed as Medea?
Somebody was dressed as Medea.
That's ignorant as hell. That's this supposed to be a serious movie. Here's what me and Glenda got to say.
What's that?
Why the fuck we wasn't in it?
I know, exactly. I'm a color girl.
Hell yeah, I wouldn't have been to it.
That's had enough of the rainbow.
I would have did that Janet Jackson shit where she was sitting on the side of the bed talking about Cyrus front door. I was like, motherfucker, you gave me what disease? I got you. Tag. Gonorrhea, syphilis.
Tag.
No, it was. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of got it.
Well, why can't? Okay, well, let me tell you, that's one of the reasons why I'm producing gospel plays.
I got to say this: all black women ain't messed up. You know,
and all black men ain't
all black men.
Right, all men are not derogatory.
Exactly.
What if? And I'm gonna say this while we still have white people sitting at this table. What if white people made movies where all white men were shit? What if George Clooney was in this shit? Brad Pitt was in Mel Gibson, all the great white stars was in this movie. I mean, that to me. Why do we go see this bullshit? I mean, maybe I'm a punk.
I went because I appreciate Tyler Perry, and I did have an interest in seeing the movie. Me being a colored girl,
and I appreciate what it was in the 70s. But damn, is everything he made got to be anti-man?
Yes.
And what happens when our troops that are sitting watching this
are portrayed as crazy?
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, that's why I wanted y'all to stay.
Yeah.
Because they don't make good ass movies like Bridge Over the River Kwai. Good ass war movie.
That was a good movie.
Tor. Good ass war movie. Dirty Dozen. Good ass war movie. Sands of Iwo Jima.
Great movie.
Good ass.
Great movie. Yeah.
That was bad when you get to kiss somebody From Here to Eternity. Good ass movie. When what was the boy that was in From Here to Eternity?
What about Dead
Montgomery
President?
Clue? Okay, that was good. That was decent. That was a kind of a bad war movie. You know, they was good, but they was bad. But see, From Here to Eternity, Montgomery Cliff, he was a guy that was kind of like an anti-hero, right? Then you had Ernest Borgnine was tripping. You know, that's every time they would put him up in the brig, they would fuck him up. You know, did you watch the movie? Do you know what
I don't remember.
Okay, and Burt Lancaster was the sergeant that was trying to keep their ass out of trouble while he was in love with the base commander wife. They was out on the beach. Good ass movie right there. And then when the Japanese tried to fuck us up in Hawaii, you know, that's when they came together and said, we're going to fuck them up back. And then Dory Miller came out, the brother that was the cook that grabbed the gun and said, we're going to get your ass too. This is good ass shit.
Okay, good.
That's a good movie.
Moving on
when
to
I
the
start
next
making
story.
movies, I will be making good movies with good veterans. You know what? Jamie Foxx makes a good war movie where he get the pencil thin mustache and the baggy pants. Point is telling. And you could be, you know what? We'll remake From Here to Eternity, and you will play the Donna Reed character where the bitch was a prostitute. Remember that? Remember Donna Reed was the prostitute in there. And they had another war movie where Shirley Jones played a prostitute. It was a war movie. They was in like the Joy Club, you know, stuff like that. Okay, go ahead. Read what you got to do. But that would be a good movie for you because you got that look on you.
Oh, okay. I look like I'm a prostitute.
No, you look like something that a man would enjoy while he getting some R&R.
I agree.
That's what we called it. It was called R&R. Wasn't it? Am I lying? Am I lying? That's right. It was called R&R. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was something
rest
good.
And recuperation.
That's right. It was something good.
Okay.
Serve your troops.
Moving on to the next story. Congratulations to Cheryl's little brother, Lil Weezy.
Oh my goodness.
He's out of jail. He's out.
Young Money.
He was released on Thursday after serving 8 months of a year sentence, stemming from
Could
the
Lil Wayne
2007
do a USO
gun.
tour?
We'll talk.
What rapper would you want to come
I
over?
wonder how has prison changed Lil Wayne? Maybe he's
months
going to
enough?
clean up his act a little
No,
bit.
I heard he almost got clipped on a parole violation as soon as he got out.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
8 months wasn't a long time.
But okay.
Well, they gave him a big baby.
What
Gave
were
him
you
a
gonna
big.
say?
I'd say Ja Rule.
Ja Rule?
On a USO show.
Ja Rule. Okay,
Ja
for
Rule?
this, hold on.
Ja Rule.
This is our rap person. Okay, for this Maximus. Okay, Ja Rule on the USO tour. What you think? Okay, if you were picking the rappers for the USO tour, what would you pick? Who would you pick?
Probably 50 Cent.
And who
okay.
else? And Ja Rule. So would 50 and Ja Rule work together?
No. Or
You stupid? What was?
Jigga.
well,
Okay.
Jay-Z would be
Jay-Z?
great.
Right?
Nelly,
Yeah, because
Nelly would probably.
Beyonce.
Nelly.
I'm sure,
Nelly
I'm
would be
sure
great.
the servicemen would love
Beyonce.
Beyonce would be a
Well,
good
but then
choice.
you would go back and you do. But Portis is a great rapper too. So Portis, you come out and do your joint.
Well, they'd start another war just to get her there.
That would be great. So, but I hear that the rappers are afraid to go. One, because you don't get a lot of money going to the USO. Yeah. You don't get paid. You may get a stipend, so you got to do it for love. But I also heard that they're afraid to go. All these people so hard.
Really?
They all talking all this pop, pop, pop. That's the real pop, pop,
And they're
pop.
afraid to go?
Afraid to go.
Probably not
That's
all
what I
of them. I can't let
There's
all
more
my
shooting
rappers
going
go out
on
like
down
that.
here in
Absolutely.
Watts.
Yeah, but I can't let my rappers go out like that. Not all of them like that. Some of them get
So
down.
then we're gonna challenge them on this show.
We should.
If you making all this money, 50 took the picture with the $2 million.
Get the Iraq.
You got the
Right.
money. Then go entertain our troops.
Be real.
For fighting for your ability to have all that money and to have your little plane and everything.
No doubt.
So Portis, you hook up the show.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sure.
T.I. Okay. I bet we can get T.I.
Before we wrap up the entertainment report, because I know we got to get into sports. Congratulations to you and Steve Harvey in the morning show crew.
I knew you were trying to get to that. Oh my God.
You guys are going to be on Centric starting Monday. You guys debut Monday. It says Steve Harvey, popular morning radio show.
I gotta get
will
my
begin broadcasting on Centric each weeknight at 9 p.m. starting this Monday, November 15th, featuring the cast of the Steve Harvey Show. You, nephew Tommy, my girl, Shirley Strawberry, Carla, and the rest of the crew. And also congratulations to Steve Harvey, because I hear the Family Feud has some of the biggest ratings.
Said it went from a
show
0.7 to a 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's also coming out with his second relationship book, Straight Talk, No Chaser,
Heard
on
you on there
December
this morning, Cheryl, doing your
7th.
thing.
So big ups to Steve Harvey. I had the opportunity to work with him when he was in Los Angeles.
And he was here. And what we're going to do on his show on Thursday, because it's Veterans Day morning, we'll talk about the adoption of your organizations under our organization for Veterans Day. But this is the other thing, too, about what Steve is doing. What we're asking him to do is, can we get branches of the service and organizations to play each other on Family Feud? So wouldn't it be great if we could get like the Marines to play against the Army, and maybe on behalf of USO or USO?
We just did that 2 nights ago for the Activision folks. We got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard to play against one another for Call of Duty. Call of Duty Black Ops.
That's that
the new
video
one.
game?
Yeah, the new one.
What do you guys think of those video games?
But the guys love them, and it's also darn good training, because it's very similar to what is actually going on in the training tapes that we have out there.
You know, we tell the guys to be real careful with them. I mean, we really do. They can get lost in them, and some of them are really very, very graphic.
Yeah, realistic.
And
so does it desensitize you to certain things when you're playing that?
Well, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, because USC has come out with their School of Social Work with a virtual Iraq, virtual Afghanistan, virtual Vietnam, and they're trying to desensitize returning service members with PTSD by putting them in situations in a virtual reality, and it does work.
Really,
it does work.
So
but it's got to be proctored. You've got to have somebody who's a professional that can bring them in and pull them out.
So can we do this? Because can I tell you this? This has been a very fast-paced show. I'd like to have Portis, if you could have him come back come back every quarter, so we can see what more we can do, because I don't think this is something that we should let go. We should continue to talk about this, with the First Lady talking about military families, and with what you two are doing, and maybe we can get wounded warriors on another side.
Well, that's one of the things I want to mention. At the Activision thing, the Coast Guard, of all things, was really surprised. Coast Guard won the competition.
Really?
And they got a check for $1 million in their name to Wounded Warriors.
Wow.
Wounded Warriors.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, the Call to Duty Endowment paid that out.
You know what would be cool? If we did a Hollywood Canteen reenactments.
You and I, baby, we could do it.
But everybody, and we wear the stuff from the 30s and the 40s. What were you going to say, Scott?
I was just going to say that, while I got a second, I wanted to give a rest in peace to a friend of mine that died. His name is Specialist Alex Fallstone, from Fort Lewis in 2nd Brigade. I'm sorry, 3rd Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, 1st and 23rd. And also rest in peace to POW MIA. We got to mention that on this show.
Absolutely.
Prisoners of War and Mission in Action. Real tough.
Yeah, because, and right now, when other wars and situations occurred, we had Geneva Convention, we had, people were treated with respect, they at least got health care. If you're watching Stalag 17, I just said my age, I apologize for you. Hold on. Okay, the basis of Hogan Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes.
That's right. So, but if you look at the situation now, we're not fighting a country. We're not fighting an organized being. We're fighting some individuals that don't agree. They believe it's okay to chop somebody's head off, but we won't do it because we don't want to get down in their level, and we know where to come back on us. I mean, personally, if I was the commander-in-chief, y'all really don't want me to be the commander-in-chief, because whatever you do to us, we're going to do back to you. You got a sword, we got chainsaw, belt buckle, boot heel, baseball bat.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
Hey, fuck you up. Okay. So, Portis, can I tell you something? And the reason we did not do
Sex and Serious tonight was Sex and Serious is really our sexual discussion, and because we felt we had some dignified guests, and I'm sure that everybody stared at Portis and Glenda enough, you know. But I do believe that if you know a man that's serving in the military, give him some.
Wait,
you know, don't make him
I just want to also say that when I spoke to Mr. Tileman, earlier today, we were talking about how people look on the radio. You were saying a lot of people are unattractive, so you have to.
That's what I said in radio. Even unattractive people can sound good.
But I do believe. I believe if you're dating somebody in the military, you know, sometimes, understand what they went through. Fix them a sandwich and give them a cold beer, and understand them and give them the love and respect that they needed. Because this guy is a leader of troops or this woman is leading individuals. Sometimes in the battle, or keeping the platoon together, or keeping the hospital together. And when they come home, they don't want to have to be told, well, go take the garbage out. You ain't shit. Okay, but I was just over there fighting for your freedom. So what are you talking about? So that's just my little special thing. I feel like whenever you see the military, shake their hand, thank them for their service, pat them on the back, and especially those of us of color, because we're really not supporting like we should. There wouldn't be a Colin Powell for whatever you believe. There wouldn't be a Colin Powell. There wouldn't be the military careers that we've had. There wouldn't be a General B.O. Davis. There wouldn't have been a Chappie James.
You know your history, girl. I'm impressed.
She knows.
Take the time to get to know people, because there's a lot of veterans out there, and not too many people. Sometimes you don't hear about it. You might not know.
And most of the time, if it's somebody opening the door for you and saying good morning or yes, ma'am, it's a veteran.
Right.
Happy Veterans Day to you, Cheryl, and thank you for all that you've done for our country as well.
Let's go around the table and let's say our goodbyes. Let's start with our guests. What would you like to tell our audience?
Just to support every one of our troops and welcome them home when they're here, and God bless them when they're there.
Absolutely. How can we get in touch with you at USO?
The Bob Hope Hollywood USO at LAX. And look us up on the web. It's bobhopeuso.org.
I love his voice. That's cool. So what would you like to say?
Well, I want to say thanks very much, Cheryl and Felicia and everybody, for letting me come here. And remember that there are veterans that are returning with some issues. There are a bunch of homeless veterans on the streets tonight. And please help us by visiting our website at www.usvetsinc.org. And you can learn how you can get involved with our organizations across the country, here in Los Angeles, and maybe you can even support us in some way financially. That's always necessary.
Have you ever thought about buying up some of these motels, these vacant motels?
Oh, yeah.
And turn them into temporary housing?
A lot of our sites around the country are in hotels.
Yeah, motels, because all they need is a bed,
right.
and someplace, a roof over their head, and that would be great.
A lot of our sites are motels.
Yeah. So
there's a big one down in Houston. We've got a big motel in Houston.
But just think of that, put people to work,
absolutely.
And staffing and things like that, social services.
And that's one of the hardest things. We've got a wonderful work reentry program called VIP Veterans in Progress, and it's the trademark of all of our sites. But the economy is crippling us, and a lot of times the employers are not hiring the veterans. They know that they're great workers, they know they've got the discipline, but they're thinking, you know what, this guy's still in the National Guard, this woman's still in the reserves, they're going to deploy again, I'm not going to hire them.
So there needs to be some laws that stops that. So that means we need to talk to the congressmen, the senators, make sure that we legislate the ability for someone to keep their job and serve the country at the same time. I think there's a great way that we all can work together. So I want you to come back, every 3 to 4 months, and we'll, see what's going to happen here. Scott, what do you want to say to the people?
I want to thank you for letting me be on here. I want to thank the Foxxhole, Glenda, POTUS. Thank you. Thanks to the USO, because there was a lot of times that y'all helped me out when I was out there. Thanks to the VA, because I still get that check. And we keep it pushing. Right. Thanks to the Foxxhole, man. Cheryl, I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. And I want you to come back.
Okay.
All the time. I want you to tell us what you're up to, and let's see how we can support. Poetess, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at OG Poetess, or on Facebook, OG Poetess.
And now, I never get your name right, little redhead girl. That's right. Tell us about your staff real fast and who came with you, and thank you for the gravy, because I cannot make gravy. And I was dreaming about this. The meatloaf was fantastic. The steak and gravy was fantastic. The macaroni, the monkey bread was fantastic. The greens were phenomenal. The drink was always good. Whatever that in that Kool-Aid, and that little Spanish drink over there. Right. So tell us who's with you.
Well, Shannon the bartender.
Yay. And Calvin, my sister.
Yay.
So it's all made with love.
What about your brother?
And my brother Kevin, he's here
Happy
from Dallas.
birthday. Yay.
His birthday.
Oh,
He's
happy
50.
birthday.
Yay.
You know, they run to the nines.
Yeah, right. So where can we taste your food?
Watts Coffee House, 1827 East 103rd Street, northwest corner of 103rd and Wilmington, in the heart of Watts. We're closed on Mondays. But if you come on Sunday, we have an all-you-can-eat buffet from 10 to 4:30. You'll love it.
I can vouch for it. It's amazing.
Is it? So now,
Got busy last
what are your hours? How many seats you got in there?
A lot of
Lot
I
of
got
seats.
plenty of space.
Okay, so you know what we
For
should
the
do?
smokers and non-smokers, I can accommodate all of them.
Well, I'd like to
broadcast.
consider adding a surcharge. So maybe on a day where you're not serving, maybe you could serve some homeless veterans.
Sure, I got plenty of room. But let me tell you one more thing. Every first Wednesday, we have a comedy show. Next one is December the 1st. It's Comedy in the Hood.
Why don't you host it, Kai?
I'm gonna come
Got
check
Coco
it out.
Brown.
Okay.
Sheryl
Wonderful.
Underwood show should broadcast from there one time.
That would be fantastic. What day is it out? It's on Wednesday.
It's December the 1st is the next show.
It's a Wednesday. Is that
It's a Wednesday night. Show starts at 8. Doors open at 7.
We gotta figure out a way to move it.
We gotta do it Tuesday. Something on a Tuesday.
Got plenty of room. We
Okay,
can make it
wonderful.
happen. We can
Wonderful.
Make it happen.
Portsmouth, now, did we say where we can find you? Okay, Marcus McIntosh, welcome back to the show. We're glad you're here. Glenda, where can we find you? Oh, I'm sorry. You want to get on mic? Say
And we want to wish White Jim Kelly well. He was out sick today.
I didn't know if I wanted to tell his business that he got this.
He's just under the weather.
Already pneumonia.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, he got the pneumonia. That's not a bad disease.
Nah, he didn't get it from tricking or nothing. That's it.
Why?
You get that honestly.
Pneumonia?
Yeah, you don't get that.
You can get
out
that
there
from mopping the
mowing.
floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ammonia. Sorry.
You silly.
Okay, you can find me, Glenda Redfield on Facebook.
No wonder there was no more greens. You have all the
I
greens.
got all the
on your
greens,
plate.
all the greens. And
Antioxidants.
follow me on Twitter. Glenda Redfield on Twitter. And Carmen Clayton, shout out to her baby, Airman Gray in the USAF. Airman Gray in the USAF. And again, Cheryl, you always kind of act uncomfortable when people trying to give you kudos. I said, happy Veterans Day. We love you. Thank you so much for all that you have done for your country, our country, and congratulations on all your success. I'm going to be looking out for you on Sunday.
Well, thank you, and we're going to continue to do more. Thank you for everybody that was with me. Kyle, did we get you in?
Nah.
Where
Kyle
can we
Irving
find you?
On Facebook, KYLEERBY, mailrightsactivist.com, mail rights and then activist.com. Follow me on Twitter.
Wonderful. Succulent Stacy is away on a great adventure. White Jim Kelly, who's under the weather, we know he's here in spirit. Jacob, the man of God with the big rod, always leading and guiding the show, even when he don't agree with my music selections. Make out Morgan, love the sound of your voice in my ear. Jamie Foxx, Marcus King, everybody at Fox King Management and Foxxhole family, we thank you. If you're emergency service personnel, if you're a first responder, if you're police, matter of fact, for the truckers, there's a guy that may have allegedly shot a policeman in San Bernardino, I think, or Riverside. If you watch the news, if you know where
There's
they
a
got
$390,000 reward
yes.
to find this guy.
If you know this man, let's get him to turn himself in safely, and let's end this. Maybe it was a mistake, whatever it was, we just want to settle this. You know what I'm saying? We don't want this to be an unhappy situation, and we're praying for the officer's family as well. I just got to say this. Oh, Super Scrotum Scott with Sling and Cock, you're the main man. You're always making it happen for us. And for me, this is our Veterans Day show. It meant a lot to me. Why? Because I happened to go into the Air Force Reserve. I was at high school at Castle Air Force Base, Atwater High, went into Travis Air Force Base. Then I followed my husband around and moved on to O'Hare Field, Chicago. If anybody that knew me from Team Spirit, Patriot Spirit, Two Reforgers, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, anybody that really knows that I will always care for this country because it is the greatest country in the nation. Our fighting forces are always there when you need someone to help you be free. For all these countries that have more time to protest the great Satan but don't have enough time to shore up their infrastructure, for all these countries that they hate us until some shit flood or earthquake happen and they need a blanket and something to eat, then they love America, or they love us enough to smile on our face while they backstabbing. Damn, that was two good soul records right there. Smile in the face. No, they backstabbing. I just want to say on this Veterans Day, we support our troops.
those who have fought for our freedom since the beginning of this country and beyond. And for us as African Americans, we were always in every altercation that America had, even when we were not full citizens. We understood what patriotism and service was all about. So God bless you. God bless America. Pray for our commander in chief, because this is a great country. Good night.